Hi, I'm Paul, Production Expert. In this series of videos, I'm showing you how to edit a podcast using Waves plugins. So in the last video, we looked at noise suppression, and in this video, we're going to be looking at EQ. But first of all, what I'm going to do is to show you some of the tools that we can use inside of Studio One to make this process easier. So what I'm going to use today is grouping tracks. So the first thing I'm going to do is to highlight the tracks. So I'll highlight one track, push Shift, click on the other tracks, and now all of those tracks are highlighted. I just hold down Command and G, and now I've added a group to this session, and I'm going to call this vocals. Because all these vocals are now lined up, any editing that I do, because I've grouped them, means that all of these files are going to stay perfectly in sync. Now the plugin that I'm going to use for EQ is the Waves Q10. Now this is a fantastic EQ that's really versatile, and the reason why I'm using Q10 over Q1 or Q2 or Q3 etc. is that I don't know how many bands of EQ that I'm going to be using during this session. So I'm loading up the full plugin just in case I need all of those bands. So let's turn the plugin on and let's hear the vocal.
Yeah, same with loan companies and things like that. I think another thing that everyone should be doing if they can is remote sessions. Now, I've been doing it.
Now I can hear a bit of low rumble in this. So what I'm going to do on my first band is to put a low cut in, and let's just bring that up until we can't hear that rumble anymore.
Yeah, same with loan companies and things like that. I think another thing that everyone should be doing if they can.
Now I'm pretty happy with that, but what I'd like to do is to add a bit of authority to the vocal, and we do that by adding a little bit of bottom end. So I'm going to use band 3 here as it's the closest one, and I'm just going to give it a bit of a lift.
And is remote sessions. Now I've been doing it for 10
About
years. So,
100
I had
hertz.
5 this week, and that's pretty much because I'm established doing this. But if you've got any
And let's
equipment
bypass
that you
the
can do
plugin.
that, you need to set yourself up. You can use soundbetter.com.
Even though we've only just given it a small 2 dB boost, we can really hear the bottom end. Now let's choose the next frequency. Now what I can hear in here is a bit of a problem frequency, so I'm going to turn on band 4 and I'm going to turn the Q right up.
Gigs, I think is another one.
And let's give
I've
it a
got
bit
a friend
of a boost.
who's even just put himself up, even before this kicked off, he put himself up quite cheaply on Fiverr.com, believe it or not. And he got some work through that. So I think...
So just around there you can hear a resonant frequency. So I found the frequency, and all I'm going to do there is just to dip it by about 7 dB.
Yeah, anyone and everyone should set themselves up.
And
for
let's
that.
bypass that.
And obviously the other thing is teaching.
So that's given the vocal a little bit more clarity as we've got rid of that resonant frequency. The next thing I want to do is to give it some clarity, and I'm going to do that by adding a high shelf in. So I'm going to use band 10 for this. And let's make sure we're on the shelf setting here.
Now I've been doing it for 10
Let's give
years.
it a
So
bit
I
of a
mean, I had
boost.
5 this week, and that's pretty much because I'm established doing this. But if you've got any
let's
equipment that you
bypass
can
the
do
plugin.
that, you need to set yourself up. You can use soundbetter.com. Gigs, I think is another one. I've got a friend.
For me, that's really given it some clarity, and the bottom end has given it some weight as well. I'm Paul from Production Expert. I hope you guys got something out of that, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.